I'm not speaking right now to the physical you. I'm going deeper. I'm speaking to your spirit. That champion that resides within you. Arise. See, here's the secret. Nobody can motivate you. They can only point you to the power and energy that resides within yourself. You keep saying you want to be successful, but your work ethic, the actions you take, have to match the words that you keep saying out of your mouth. There's no goal, no obstacle, no challenge that can deny the person that masters the art of hard work. Let your grind do all the talking. You can't purchase greatness with a mediocre work habit. You keep writing a check for greatness and it keeps bouncing, coming back. Insufficient work ethic. Mediocre is a foreign language to a champion. No comprende. They don't speak mediocre. They don't speak average. Champions speak excellence, greatness, hard work, discipline, perseverance. We are champions because of that. Speak victory, declare victory, project victory, chase victory, pursue victory, exemplify victory, master victory, then conquer victory. Raise your standard to that of greatness. Because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it to honor the God you serve. Grind and hustle are universal words recognized in every language. You gotta leverage every second of time. Give no time, energy, or resources to anything that doesn't belong in your future. If it's not moving you toward your dreams, get rid of it. The number one reason people fail is lack of focus. If you can stay focused long enough, you can achieve it. Champions are champions because they fell in love with the process that produces winning. Make practice your art, repetition your addiction, excellence your obsession. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice
Check
makes
1 2 1 2.
perfect.
There we go.
Champions practice it so many times they forget how to ever do it wrong. Persistence and passion will make you invincible, and discipline will make you unstoppable. Success is just the accumulation of right thoughts, properly and consistently implemented. All things are possible.
To be 1 2.
Check.
1 2 1 2.
An infinite world of possibilities.
Check 1
Those
2
who
1
live
2.
in her realm become
Grind
the
time.
innovators that change the world. Champions make adjustments, not discoveries.
Purposes and plans
Success
for
is a
people that will hear
marathon
this,
of
Lord.
consistency.
You know exactly what
Walked
needs
out
to be said,
one
Lord.
day
We
at a
yield ourselves
time.
to that.
Suffer now.
Use us in a mighty way, Lord.
And
In
live the
Jesus'
rest
name,
of
we
your
will
life.
give you glory. To God be the glory.
A champion. What price are you willing to pay for
Okay, ladies and
greatness?
gentlemen,
Anybody
my
can
name is
be
Rick
a
Young.
gladiator.
This is another segment of What's in Your Hand. What's in Your Hand is a motivational show. We talk about success, achievement, achieving your dreams, maximizing your life, having fun, just really getting the most out of your life and applying success to your life. What's in Your Hand? Here we are at ghcr.nyc, and you can listen to us live on YouTube while we're doing this program. Is that correct, engineer?
And you can watch.
And you can watch.
So as soon as Bill get out of Billy's shot,
And you can watch.
as soon as Bill get out of Billy's shot, we can watch.
Yeah.
One big.
Okay. We had a very
He
unfortunate.
don't know. Bill doesn't know who the great guest you have sitting over there.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know yet.
Don't know. But
Because he don't know. Because Bill said he was born a champion.
But here's what we do know. We know that something happened here in New York that I think that's when the champions come out to play. We hate difficulty. We hate people losing their lives. But this is when the champions come out to play. And when I say play, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way. And ironically, that this would happen now, that we would have a champion in the building right now. Mr. Billy Allsbrooks Jr.
Good. What's up, New York?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, bro? Come a long way, long way.
Yeah.
God
All
is
the way
good.
from Florida.
That's right. God is good. God
Now,
is good.
I have a radio show here. I have a radio show at WHCR. And often I play. Now let me just say this: I have been around some of the best and the greatest motivational speakers. They are Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn. I met Jim Rohn twice, spoke to him twice. So when I listen to your program, it's one of the best that I've ever heard.
Appreciate it, man.
What's his brother name? The Eric brother. E.T. Eric Thomas. He's great. He's great.
Amen.
But I think that you stand head and shoulders with all of those great ones, with the Les Browns. I would guarantee you, Les Brown heard your stuff, he would be like, yeah, that's the real deal.
God is good, man.
How does that feel to know that you stand head and shoulders with the Zig Ziglars, with the Jack Canfields, with all the great motivational champions? How does that make you feel?
Man, it's an honor, man. It's humbling to hear you say that, man. But, my goal is, to be useful for the kingdom. You know what I mean? That's my main concern, is being useful, man. The accolades and all that, man, I appreciate them, and it's humbling. But, I come from the rap life, man, and I chased that fame and I notoriety for 17 years, man,
Yeah.
And I know that if I chase that alone, I will end up empty. You know what I mean? So this time around, I'm getting a second shot to do this thing on the mic. And this time, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to make sure it's about others, man, impacting other people's lives. That's the legacy that I'm out to achieve with this thing
Right.
that I'm doing.
Well, I want to apologize. We started late because they had another show that went on before us because of this difficulty that happened here where us young college students were stabbed to death. That's why I made the statement that champions come out to play.
Right.
So we starting late.
Well, we right on time, man. God knows who we need
We
to reach.
were right on time?
They might not have got to the radio yet, so they there now. So
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay. So what would you say about this thing that happened here where a young brother allegedly now, we don't know the facts, allegedly stabbed this young lady to death? What's your comment to that?
My thing is we got here a little late, but we gonna prevent that the next opportunity. That's what we here for, man. We here to sow life into those out there who are lost, to bring them back home, to let God show them their true identity, the great potential that they have on the inside of themselves, the things that God has called them to do, that they have a future. What we gotta do is paint the right vision for these people, man. Because, you can only move toward what you see. And if you do not see anybody getting up out of these streets in a positive way, then it's very hard to get up out of this mindset in the streets. What we have to do is give them a vision of something better, something more exciting, something more enticing to bring them to their true identity, which is greatness, champion. See, everybody got greatness in them because greatness made them, man. But some people just haven't found that out yet. Some people don't know that. You're in the streets and you don't see anybody coming off them streets, man. You think this is all I got. This is all I can do. We here to tell them people that you can get off those streets. You know what I mean? That God will help you get off these streets and you can make something great out of your life. You can impact others. You can go global doing the thing that God assigned you to do. So, man, what I want to do is speak life over New York City, man. Like, we can't do anything about what just happened over there. What, the situation with the college person that got stabbed. We can't do anything about that, man. But what we can do is sow a better future over this city. We can speak life over the city because words got power. The word says death and life and the power of the tongue. Those that love it shall eat the fruits thereof. So what we got to do is get on this mic and sow life over these people, man. So
the thing is that there was a time when you didn't know what you know now.
Exactly.
There was a time when I didn't know what I know. There's a lot of people that don't have this kind of knowledge and information. It's not that they bad or anything.
Right.
They just haven't studied it. They haven't studied the principles.
Unaware.
So you and I have been studying the principles, but there was a time when we didn't know.
Right, exactly.
About these principles and what they could do for our lives.
Exactly.
What do you say to that, Billy Osbrooks?
You heard me the other day in the seminar that you was at. I talk about most people living in a state of amnesia, forgetting who they are. Like when they come out of the womb, when we come out of the womb, we have been in the presence of God. We understand our calling, our power, our nature, our ability, our gifts, our assignment, our destiny. We understand all of that. And we are crystal clear. But once we come out of that womb and the doctor slaps us on the back, from that moment forward, the world bombards us with lies about how they see us and how the enemy wants us to see us. You know, so what we do is unlearn what we know from the moment we come out of the womb. They tell you, you know, you don't come from the right side of the tracks. You don't have the education. You don't have the background. You don't have the money. You're too tall. You're too short. You're too fat. You're too thin. You're the wrong color, the wrong religion, whatever it is. The world is trying to hit us with these lies from the moment we come out of the womb until we accept them. And see, after years and years and years of being bombarded with this stuff, we break down and begin to believe the illusion that the enemy is trying to place on us, rather than seeing our true power, our true identity, and that which we can do and the impact that we can make by tapping into what the Creator put on the inside of us, man. So what we got to do is wake these people up. We are the alarm to wake these people up out of the spiritual coma, the amnesia that we all have been living in for so long. When you wake up, it is your job to go wake somebody else up. And if we do this across the world, man, we can begin to bring people back online to see what they were made to do.
I think this might surprise you, but there's a lot of people that's not interested in what we're talking about. Believe it or not, they're really not interested.
I understand.
Because like sometimes, okay, so.
But I didn't come for that. See, like most people say, when you go somewhere, just, you know, if you just reach one person. Right?
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Look, I'm greedy. I pray to God to give me every single person that's listening on the other side of this thing, bro. I don't come in here with any kind of doubt. I don't come in here with any kind of hesitation, worrying about what the enemy might do to stop people from hearing what we're going to say. What I'm going to say is what God put in my heart and in my mouth, and I'm going to say it boldly, and God will take care of the rest of that. You know what I mean?
So I received a book from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I have a relationship with them, and they're beautiful people.
Amazing.
You know, Napoleon Hill worked it, and they're still putting out work.
Oh, yeah.
They put out a book that he had written years ago that his wife would not let him put out because, for whatever reasons, her relationship with the churches and stuff like that.
Right.
And the book was titled Outwitting the Devil. I was
Yes,
like, I
yes,
wasn't
yes.
really, what is this? Outwitting the Devil. I wasn't interested in that. But when I looked at it and I seen what he was talking about, he said, Napoleon Hill said that one of the things that's holding the children back, he start the parents, the teachers, and the priests.
Right. The way
So-
you were preaching. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
So-
I read that paragraph. I highlighted it in the book because it touched me. I know exactly the paragraph you're talking about.
So if your parents don't have this knowledge, how are you going to have the knowledge if your parents don't have it?
Right. Exactly. We were discussing that on the way over here, that people very rarely get out of the streets because there's a mindset required to get out of it, right? And very few people will come back when they do get out and display the mindset or show another person how to grab that mindset to rise up themselves. You know, if you want to move out of a certain situation, first you have to move your mind to the place you want to go. So what we got to do is help these people move their mind to that place of greatness, that elevation, that climb, that awakening, that awareness, that truth that's on the inside. We have to point them to themselves, you know, to show them the mindset required to do what it is that they want to do. You know, there's a mindset for everything. There's a mindset required to see opportunity. There's a mindset required to receive healing. There's a mindset required for success. There's a mindset required for prosperity, to attract it. Whatever it is, every challenge, every situation has a mindset required to overcome it. So whatever it is you want in life, you just have to figure out what mindset will produce that outcome and then adopt it. And once you adopt it, eventually your body will follow. Wherever the mind goes, the body will eventually follow. So what we got to do here today is point people to that mindset of elevation, that mindset of climb, that mindset that with God, all things are possible. Because most of the time in the streets where we come from, we don't see that. We just hear about it. We don't necessarily see anybody coming off the street. So most of the people don't buy into that. But we got to let them know, yo, if you do these things, these are natural laws and principles. If you tap into them, you will bear fruit. It is a natural law just like gravity. If you change your mind, your life will change, right? You don't change the mind, you will continue to produce the same type of lifestyle because your mindset will give birth to a lifestyle that's equivalent to it. At some point or another, your mindset will give birth to what it is that's in it. You know what I mean? So like if you want to get out of the streets, you got to get your mind out of the streets first.
Give me a story of someone that has heard your message and let you know that you changed their life. Give me an example of a story. Someone. Well, I know you got many, but just give me one.
let me give you a story here because I think some people need this story. It's right in line with what you're talking about. This guy, a couple months ago, called me up. He had this TV show. And he reached out to me and he's like, hey, can you come on the TV show, do an interview with me? And I didn't know the guy, but I researched him a little bit. He had the show. Everything, was legit. And I said, well, I just happen to be in your city 2 weeks from now. When I come up there, we'll go ahead and knock this thing out.
Yeah.
So I get up to the city, call him up. I'm like, hey, I'm in town. You ready for the interview or whatever? He's like, hey, come by my house first. I want to bring you by my house, and then we'll go from there to the TV station, right? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm driving across town, man, and put his address in the GPS, and I'm riding through, and the more I drive, the more I'm getting up in the trap, man. Every house is boarded up, graffitied up. No, people on the bikes, the dope dealing on the corner, all of that. And I'm familiar with that lifestyle because that's where I came from. But it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, this guy's on TV. I don't know what's going on here, God, but I trust you, right? I get over to his house, and he is the only house on the block that is not boarded up and condemned. The only one. So I'm like, Lord, this don't make no sense. But God is good. I know that. Like, he don't send me anywhere by mistake, right? So the guy comes out. He's like, man, I'm happy you come on inside, man. Come on inside. And that's where the lesson began. See, he taught me a lesson, right? I come inside. Every wall in this man's house has a dry erase board on it, a vision board on it, goals written down on it. Every single wall in this house. The little kids run up to me, hand me a piece of paper and say, these are my goals. These are my goals. They're 13 years old, 10 years old. All of them had written down goals. The mama had her goals on the refrigerator. You understand? Like the whole place. I couldn't even sit down on the couch. They were cutting out clips of things out of magazines that they wanted to achieve in life, and they were putting together a vision board. I'm like, this is crazy. See, what I realized right then, this man had already moved out of that location. He had moved out of that neighborhood. He had moved out of that area, man. His mind was gone. He not there anymore. 6 months, he not there in that same place no more. He done moved out of there because he moved his mind out of there. And once you move your mind out of a place, you'll never come back to it. You understand? So it's not just like he moved out temporarily. No. His mindset was firmly rooted and established in a way that he'll never go back. And now, man, he's got two shows, a radio show and a TV show, and just got a book deal, man. See, the story was the guy had been in prison for armed robbery, did 18 years. Now, he'd been out less than a year, but God had been opening doors. Because, see, while he was in there doing time, at the latter part of his time, he began to study and began to humble himself before the Lord. And the Lord began to move in his life. And when he got out, God began to open doors that nobody could open. You understand? But this man was obedient, man. He began to place his mind where he wanted to go. The word says, where there was no vision, the people perish. So God had given him the right vision, man. And once you get that vision is transportation. You hold on to that vision, man. It'll carry you right up out of your situation, man.
Wait a second. Let me make sure I got this right. This young man had vision boards all over the house.
All over the house. All over the house. I never seen nothing like it. I mean, I teach this every day, and I'm around this every day, and I never seen nothing like this. I'm like, man, God showed me a lesson, man. You know what I mean? And it's even more important when you're in that kind of environment to all you look and see is where you want to go. Because if you don't have a clear vision, when you walk out that door, the streets will give you a vision. The enemy will give you his vision. So he knew he had to protect his mind, and everything that he looked at, every single morning that he got up, he needed to see where he was going. And he got everybody in his family to buy in. The kids will not be the same. You understand? Like, he taught them this at an early stage, an impressionable age, that they will carry this on forever. They will see the results of what happened by having a vision. Most people are just walking around without a vision, letting the world tell them who they are, what they're supposed to do, what they're called to do. And when you don't have a vision, you're walking around in a constant state of chaos, attracting to you a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but none of anything that you really want.
The little kid came up to you and said, "These are my goals."
These are my goals, man. I was like, this crazy. This crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I go to seminars all over. I teach all over, and I never seen nothing like it, man. I was like, Demetrius, man, you got something special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something special, man. So he right
now
did 18.
He did 18 years in jail.
Yeah. All his people that he got locked up with, they got out 10 years. But he said he was trouble while he was in there. He was getting in trouble while he was in there. And his time got extended, man.
Wow.
But he said at the latter point in time, he really started committing himself to God, reading and educating his mind, reading these kind of books that we're talking about. And then he started reading this stuff. And when he got out, he ain't going back. Because his mind has changed. See, you can put somebody in the cage, but if you don't change their mind, they will return to that.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
What we got to
right,
do
right.
is plant knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is the key, because every problem is just a wisdom problem. Every problem is a truth problem. You tap into truth, you'll fix whatever is going on. I always say, right thinking sustained long enough will eventually bring peace and order to any situation. So whatever it is your situation, you just need to attach right thinking to it. And by doing so, the world around you will begin to conform and shape to you as opposed to you shaping to it. That's what the word says in Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to have a new mind. You want something new, you got to have a new mindset to attract something new.
So here we go, moving to a new year, a new decade. Usually when someone goes to their eyes, they want their eyes to be 20/20 vision.
Right.
Right?
Clarity.
20/20 vision. And guess what? We're going into the year 2020.
Right.
Wow, 20/20 vision.
That's right. Clarity.
You just got to talk about vision.
Right.
What do you, I mean, I don't think that we could just go into this year as just another year, or let's set goals. And I think we need to take this to a whole nother level.
Right.
We need to really go at this 2020 thing, like really go in hard. That's what I think. That's just my personal opinion.
The person in the room with the most clarity, the strongest vision, commands the room. So what we have to do if we want to make change, if we want to become leaders, we must grab a vision. The people that have rocked and shaped this world all throughout history always started with a vision. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. John F. Kennedy said, we're going to the moon. You understand? These people had vision of what it is that they wanted to attract in life. See, the most of the world is living and bought into the illusion that the enemy is trying to put on them. When what I say is starve the illusion, feed the dream. You got to feed what you see in your mind. You know, if we talking about 2020, right? Before we started this interview, I counted to see how many days there were between now and January 1st. We around 17 days between now and now. So if you're out there listening to me right now, what I challenge you to do is to sit down on paper and write down what you want out of life. Most people don't do that. Most people just worry about how can I get a check to get me by the month. You know, just above broke. That's what they call a job anyway, just over broke, right? That's where most people's mindset, and they've traded in their gifts, their greatness, their opportunity and ability to change the world, and they've traded in for the rent money. Now, I'm not naive saying that we don't need to pay rent, but there's a bigger thing than just paying rent. Our life is more than just going through the motions. You know, most people live maybe one day a week. You know, they working 6 days, 12-hour days, working hard in New York because it's expensive to live in New York.
Right.
And you're lucky if on Sunday you get to spend an hour or two with your kids. You know, go grocery shopping. You're lucky if you do that. You know, some people working 7 days. You know what I mean? But if you want to change that situation, the first step to change, the first step to personal transformation is getting a 4K, high definition, high mental resolution, mental blueprint with the exact specifications for how you want your life to look. What you got to do is build a dream first in your mind and make that dream so big that it got no place to go but accept into reality. Mm-hmm. You know, small dreams don't excite people. Small dreams don't shake and rock the environment around you. You need to dream big because with God all things are possible. So what I tell people, this author that I know who wrote many bestsellers, they asked him in an interview, they said, you know, what's your process? How are you so successful writing these books? You know, what steps do you do to make sure that, you know, you're able to do this consistently? And he said, my trick is I write the last chapter of my book first.
Okay. Good.
Because that way I always know where I'm going in my story. So what I'm challenging you out there, if you're listening to me, write your last chapter now. Write 2020, December 31st, 2020. Write down everything you did in 2020. You understand? You have to live it out mentally first. Decide what you want for 2020, what you don't want for 2020.
How many children do you have?
0.
Okay.
0. This is my baby, man. God gave me this baby to raise.
So here's the thing. I know people have children. They say, well, who's your favorite child?
Right.
You know, 'cause I can't tell you who my favorite child is. You know, they're all my favorite. Mm-hmm. So you've done a lot of videos. Is there one that is your favorite that stands out?
Unleashed. A video I did called Unleashed, man. It really changed me. God gave me these 3 videos back to back before he sent me out. Before he sent me out to the world to speak. I was doing these videos.
That's not Blessed and Unstoppable, the one that I was talking about.
No.
It's a different one.
Yeah,
I go,
there's
yeah,
3
check that
videos
one
he
out.
gave me that I needed myself in order to come out here and do what he's called me to do. Right?
Yeah.
The first one was Set Yourself on Fire and the World Will Come See You Burn. That's by John Wesley, and an evangelist said this. They asked him, he said, everywhere you go, massive crowds come. What's your secret? He said, set yourself on fire, the anointing, the fire, the thing you love to do, the thing you are most passionate about in life. Do that and crank that up. And people will come see you because it's so rare that people are actually doing what they love to do. Most people are just doing the job. They're not doing what they really love and are passionate about, been gifted to do. See, when you tap into the thing you've been gifted to do, you tap into a whole nother level of energy that's available when you're doing the thing God called you to do. And when you're outside of that, you're never functioning at your full capacity, right? So he gave me that video, Set Yourself on Fire and the World Will Come See You Burn. The second one was Truth is the New Black. Everywhere you go, truth is the right attire. There's no, it goes with everything. Black goes with white, black and red, black and white, whatever. It goes, right? Truth goes with every situation. And if you drape yourself down in truth, you are always properly dressed for any environment that you enter. You understand? So he gave me that one. And then the third one was Unleashed. And this was like unleashing myself and the gifts that he gave me, aggressively and boldly going out in the world and doing what he's called me to do. So it's a special one to me because that right after that video, that's when I went out and started my first speaking outside my city.
Okay.
So I needed these 3 because up until this point, the first 18 months of me doing YouTube and putting out these motivational videos, man, I didn't put a picture out on my social media because I'm like, I come out of the rap world and I got these gangster songs and drug songs and all that. I made a complete change. 10 years later, God brings me back to the mic to go out here and do what I'm doing now. I get on the mic, I start doing these videos, but I don't post anything on social media because I haven't truly bought into my own identity yet.
Wow.
See, I'm like, they're not gonna take it from me, right? Because like you mentioned earlier, all the motivational speakers you mentioned earlier, right? The things that I was seeing from these guys were in suits, man. They in Harvard, Yale type environments, business.
Well, Gary Vaynerchuk doesn't wear a suit.
Well, this was before that.
Okay.
This was before that.
Right.
Like this, this is before Gary started. So everybody I was studying was, this is the old 90s. We was watching the old 90 clips. Les Brown and the Tide and all that. Yeah. And I got massive respect for all these guys, but
Eric Thomas didn't really wear a suit also.
It was right around the time when he started coming out. Like I hadn't got on the area. I hadn't seen the area.
Okay.
So the people that I was studying were, like the Napoleon Hills and all these guys, these were all business type guys. Like they had, college degrees and all this. And I'm like, man, I don't look like none of them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, God has put this gift in me and put this knowledge in me, this wisdom and this anointing and this fire on me, but I'm doubting God. I'm like, they're not going to take it from me. Yeah. They're not gonna listen to me, bro. Right. Like I got the gold tee, the hat, the jeans. I'm just me, bro. Like they're not gonna take it from me. So for 18 months, man, I never put out a picture on social media. They calling me from all over the world to book me to speak, and I'm saying no because I'm thinking when I get there, they're gonna be, sorry they booked me, or they're gonna be let down. This is where the enemy gets in your mind. But really, the truth is, I was perfectly and strategically designed to reach who I was called to reach. God had already qualified me. I just hadn't bought into my identity. See, I still had that amnesia. Like I mentioned earlier, I bought into you don't look like them dudes. You don't sound like them guys. You got a different swag than those guys. You got the gold tee, all this stuff. You used to talk about popping pills. Now you're going to get up there and tell them about God? All this stuff was going on in my mind. The enemy was trying to get me.
But you heard what I said.
What's that?
Jack Canfield, they sold like $400 million, $500 million. I said, these are just my words, who am I? But I said, you stand shoulder to shoulder, head and shoulders with Jack Canfield, $500 million.
God is good.
The great Zig Ziglar. I interviewed him toward the end of his life. He wrote a book. His last book was called Embrace the Struggle.
Amen.
Les Brown, I know Les Brown personally.
Yeah.
Willie Jolly, I know Willie Jolly. A setback is a setup for a comeback.
Amen.
So you are standing head and shoulders. I don't care if it's hoodie, cap, gold teeth, and all that. Because you know what? There is someone for you to reach.
Amen.
And they need to hear that message.
I had to buy in. Like, there's probably many of you out there right now. You need to buy into who you are.
Yeah.
Somebody out there. You you have a dream, but you just don't think people will buy into you. You know, you think you're not qualified, but listen, God will qualify you. Don't worry about that. If that's what He's called you to do, you're already ready for that. You know, but see, it took me a while to understand that. When I went through those 3 messages that God gave me, the next week I went out. That's the first time I went out of my city, man. And you were there at the seminar. You might have heard me mention it, that the first gig that I got was in Atlanta for this big insurance company. You know, 400 or 500 people, wall to wall. I go to this event. Nobody had seen me before. So I show up on a Friday. I'm supposed to speak on Saturday. They having stuff going on Friday, so I wanted to get a feel for the environment. And I get up there, man, and they are all suited up. I'm like, talking to my buddy. I'm like, man, I don't know how this is going to go, you know? So they come over to me, and I could tell the people that hired me was kind of skeptical. They see me like, oh, that's what he look like, you know? He don't sound like that, you know? But God had already put me in, put the message in me, and put the knowledge in me to understand that it wasn't me that was going to be doing the talking. It was going to be Him. And as long as I let Him do the talking, we good. So I just get up and say, Lord, I know I'm not qualified. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's me because I know it ain't me. You know, when I talked before doing rap, I made a mess. I yield my mouth to you and let you speak. So I get over there on that Friday, man, and I'm still trying to buy in. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know how this is going to go down. That day, the former NFL Hall of Famer got up there and spoke that night, you know. Next day, I come in there, and Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, I don't know if you remember the
wrestling guy?
Right. His son, also a wrestler.
I don't know much about him. I wasn't watching wrestling at that point. But anyway, I know the name.
Yeah, but his son, also a champion in wrestling, introduced me that to the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So first they play the champion video, which you play here on the show, and I'm sitting in the back of the venue, right? And they all, you know, the video go off and everybody clap, you know. He introduced me and all this, and I'm thinking back to myself because they can't see me. They looking the other way. I'm in the back of the auditorium about to come out, and I'm like, you about to find out if you believe all that stuff he's saying, right? We're going to see if you really believe that or you just talking. So God moved on my spirit right then and said, Billy, they going to see you for the time you walk right here where you at to that stage. But as soon as you open your mouth, they going to see me. Uh-huh. And that's exactly what happened, man. They all clapped when the video went off, you know, and everybody standing up, right? And they introduced, boom, I start walking out the back, and everybody turned to the left, and I could just see the disappointment just like come over the whole room like this. I'm like, you don't look like much, you know what I mean? So I get up there, man, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, it's on you. You know, and I get up and I say, the first thing I say out my mouth, which I do at every seminar, I say, God still moves. Yeah. And the whole room just shut, just boom. Everybody went silent, right? Then it was time for God to do His thing, and He did. And when I got done, the lesson was, man, I had a 2-hour line, man, to sign books.
Beautiful.
2-hour line. This guy comes up to me after the event, this older guy, and he taps me on the arm. He's like, Billy, I gotta talk to you. I was like, who's this? You know, who's this dude? So I go over there. He pulls me to the side, and he's like, look, man, I need you to forgive me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, I don't even know you. You know, like, you know, what are you talking about? He said, man, I judged you, man. He said, I saw the hat, I saw the gold teeth, I saw the shirt, I was like, what can this dude teach me? But when you open your mouth and say, God still moves, I about fell out my chair. So, see, God had confirmed what He had told me in the back of the room, that once you hit that stage and open your mouth, it won't be you doing the talking. And some of you out there, you worried about you doing the talking and whatever it is that you're called to do. And just know, if that's what God has called you to do, He's going to do the talking for you. He's going to open up doors that normal people could never open in a million years. What they say, 10,000 days of labor, 1 day of favor, right? 1 day of favor is worth 10,000 days of labor, man.
So let's say you get a phone call. Hey, Billy Alsbrooks Jr., guess what? We know you did a lot of great videos, but we heard you on this radio show in Harlem, and I'm the executive director from the United Nations, and we want you to deliver a message to the world. What is Billy Alsbrooks Jr. message going to be to the world at the United Nations? On center stage. I
got the same message, man. Blessed and unstoppable. God still moves. With Him, all things is possible. You know, my thing is to give people clarity and a vision for who they truly are, man. And that doesn't change no matter where I go. You know, and actually, I just got booked to speak in Dubai this year at the World Trade. While you speaking there, I actually got booked to speak in August in Dubai at the World Trade. So that is a reality, and when I go there, that's exactly what I'm going to tell them. God still moves, you know. And sometimes it's not that you say something that they haven't heard, man. You just say it in a way that they can feel it, that they can receive it, and that's what the anointing is. See, like we can say the same thing, but if the anointing of God's fire is on it, then it can be received, and only when it's draped in that fire can somebody actually take it in and receive it deep down in their spirit. You know, I don't aim for the mind. Like you hear a lot of times when people teach you to speak, they say, well, you know, aim for the mind. Others say aim for the audience's heart, right? I don't do that. I say, Lord, let me rock and shake them at the core of their DNA, because if I get down in there, I can change it. You understand? Like up here is limitations. If I go to the mind, if I go to the heart, there's limitations, right? You know, you feel good today in your heart, tomorrow you don't. But if I get you at the core, if I get you at that DNA, and I let God speak to that DNA, things can change. And that's what I'm aiming for every time I get on that mic.
Yo, man, I wish you could see me in the studio when I'm playing this video, man. I just go bananas. I just have so much fun with it. You know, one day, I think it was like last week, the doggone engineer played it. And I was like, oh, you know, it hit me. But when he played it, I was like, oh, man. You know, he caught me by surprise, too. I didn't know he was going to do that. But, yeah. So,
let me challenge you people real quick, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Look, 2020, we gotta get clear. We gotta get clear. It's time to not just get up and go through the motions and let life happen to us. It's time for us to start happening to life. You hear me on the commercial I say for the seminar? Are you living life or is life living you? Uh-huh. You know, and what we gotta do is get people back to living, man. You know, instead of just having things attacking us all the time, man, it's time for us to get on the attack. You've got 17 days to figure out what you want 2020 to be about. Uh-huh. What's the theme that you want to make 2020 about? What is the theme that you want? What is the theme that you want 2020 to be about? That's the question.
Yeah.
And the easiest way, man, to bring your life in focus, like I mentioned earlier about that author writing the last chapter, take out a piece of paper and write down two things. What you want your headstone to say when you die, and what you want the obituary to say when you die. Describe your life as if you've already lived it, and you could have anything in the world happen. Write that destiny out on paper. Get clear on where you want to move, where you want to go, what it is that you want in life. Because vision is the genesis of all greatness. See, what we got to do is starve the illusion, the present, and feed the dream. See, the dreamers, the world changes, stand firm in their dream until the world on the outside reflects back the vision they have on the inside. You know, so what we got to do is get these people, man, to get a vision and dream again. And stop buying the lie that, you know, you're not good enough, you're not equipped, you're not educated, you don't have the resources, people don't care about you, the politicians, all of that. Get rid of that and understand that you have everything you need to accomplish what you've been decided to do, what you've been assigned to do by God. You have everything you need on the inside of you already. You see, faith, love, and forgiveness are the three most powerful weapons in existence. And when those things are united in truth, all things are possible. So you always have the ability and capacity to change your life. Always.
Do you know anything about theater?
A little bit.
Yeah? Theater.
Yeah,
stage, performance.
A little bit. I rocked the stage for 17 years doing music.
Yeah, I'm talking about like plays and stuff. Plays.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. That's a great tool to use to teach.
Amen.
Plays. I want to play something for you. I don't know if my engineer is ready yet, but
Every time they mention my name,
I want to listen to this. Turn that up, man. Turn that all the way up.
It's champion. My obituary will read champion. Every time they mention my name, they will say champion. Because I am a champion. Every day that I get up, I say, good morning, champion. When I look in the mirror, I see a champion. When I go to the gym, I work out like a champion. When I eat like a champion. And the stuff I read makes me an even better champion. The stuff I put in my mind is champion. Because all day I am a champion. From sunrise to sundown, from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I close them, I am a champion. I pray, I think, I speak, I walk like a champion. No loss, no setback, no mistake will ever change that. I'm a conqueror, born to succeed, anointed to prosper, blessed and unstoppable, and I will arise out of the ashes because my God will not fail me, because I am, always have been, and always will be a champion. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I can do all things because with God all things are possible, and I am a champion doing the impossible. Failure is not an option. I refuse to concede because I'm a champion when I bleed. My blood is champion, and anything that stands in my way, I will go through it, over it, or around it, because I am a champion. Nothing can stop me. Blessed and unstoppable. I am the undefeated, undisputed, never beaten champion of the world. The world says I'm a loser. I get up every day and go to war with that statement. They think I'm lazy. I'm hungrier than ever. Beast mode, I'm eating all competition. The devil says I've got no money. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly in God's perfect way. The world says I'm crazy. The world belongs to the bold. They remind me of the losses I've taken. They say I'll never recover. I serve the God of restoration. I will make a comeback. They say you can't pay your bills with dreams. Success will come off the assembly line of my mind. They say I only have average talent. Hard work and discipline are the great equalizer. Why don't you get a 9-to-5, a normal job that pays every week? Because I'm the head and not the tail. Above, not below. I was strategically designed for greatness. It looks like your God has forgotten you. My God will never leave me nor forsake me. You really believe all that stuff you're saying? Destiny is obligated by universal law to concede to the demands of unwavering faith, and I believe I'm a champion, committed, hungry, dedicated, fearless, bold, never wavering, full of faith, anointed, prosperous, strong, righteous, focused, disciplined, willing to do whatever it takes to be a champion. I will arise one day and make a fool out of all those who doubted me. I will live with no fear. I will boldly attack the things that scare me. They will not stop me on my destiny. No health issues, no job issues, no financial issues, no relationship issues. Nothing shall stand in the way of my divine calling, because I am a champion. I was born a champion, raised a champion, have always been a champion, will always be a champion. My legacy is champion. When it's all said and done, on my headstone, they will write champion.
Whoa.
That's how we do.
Wow.
Champion.
Wow. When you hear that again, what becomes present for you? When you heard that piece right there, when you hear that, what becomes present for you?
Man, that was my state right there, my life. You know, I'll give you some backstory on that. That was about 3 months into my speaking on YouTube, right? And things hadn't took off yet, nothing like that. I wasn't looking for this to be like, you know, a purpose, a calling, or, you know, something big like it is now. You know, I was just doing the things that I love to do. You know, I love speaking, and I love personal development. I love sowing life over people. And I started pursuing this dream, not knowing where it was going to lead me.
Right.
And I basically went all in. I had these other businesses that, you know, going on at the time as an entrepreneur, they were making money, but I wasn't passionate about them. You know, and I knew I needed to connect with something that I was really, really passionate about. So I got rid of the businesses. The last day I wrote my book is the last day I worked those other businesses. I sold them the day I finished my book. And I started doing these YouTube videos a few months later. 3 months in, nothing's jumped off. The book I'm just got in my hand, not making any money, nothing like that. I got this big grand ambition, but no evidence of anything happening. And the enemy, he likes to squeeze you. Because if he knows you're going to make an impact, if he knows you're going to change lives, where you can grow, thrive, or multiply, the enemy's going to set up to attack you, right? So he knew what God was about to do with me, right, with my mouth. So he began to cause strife between me and my wife, financial strife. Because at this point in time, like, I'd always had money. Money was good. I always kind of like, that was the strength of mine being an entrepreneur, man. I could just make money doing anything. But I had left these old businesses that I had been doing, and now money wasn't coming in steady and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just buying into the dream, like, God is good. God has got me. He ain't never failed me, right? I'm buying in. But she kind of like, where's the paycheck? Where's the money? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of freaking her out. She very much into security. So I'm at war with these two things. Like, I'm dreaming while I'm hearing the voice of security, right? Crying. So we going back and forth every single day, and it's causing a lot of tension, a lot of strife as time goes on. And I remember one day getting so mad. We got into this heated argument about money. And I remember getting so mad, I went into my studio and cut the mic on to that music and just started saying stuff right off the top of my head. Now, the thing about it was, I was at a crossroad between the dream, pursuing the thing that set me on fire, the thing I love to do, and reality. Get the check, do the 9 to 5, be like everybody else. Because my wife used to say that all the time, man, why don't you, stop all that dreaming and that fantasizing and get a 9 to 5 like everybody else. But, man, I knew something more was in me. I knew what God had put in me. Something just didn't sit right with that, So I'm at this crossroads, and I'm mad at, God a little bit. I'm mad at her. I'm mad at me. I'm like, why is my life not reflecting on the outside what I am on the inside, right? So I started unleashing, on the mic, saying I'm born a champion, raised a champion. I got champion in my bloodline. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm at the point of losing myself and forgetting who I am. So I had to get really mad at the enemy. And I had to get real mad at the enemy and remind myself of who I was. That's what I'm saying. That, like, hold on, bro. Like, you ain't no laying down, bro. That ain't who you is. That ain't what. That's not where you come from. Your mother didn't raise you that way. Your father didn't raise you that way. This is not who you are, right? So I took the dream. I took it in faith, and I began to speak that which I was on the inside. And the thing you hear there where I'm going back and forth is actually what's going on in my mind. Like, you really believe all that stuff you saying? I'm the head and not the tail, above and not below. I will lend to many nations and not borrow. Why don't you get a job like everybody else? That's the conversation my wife was having. That's the conversation that the enemy was having on the inside. So that is just capturing that moment. That's like a photo, really. Just capturing what was really going on.
You believe all that stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on. But here's the funny thing. God always honors his word. His word says death and life in the power of the tongue. Those that love us shake the fruits thereof. I put that video out and it went viral. Other motivational channels picked it up. Millions of plays across the globe. Projected my book to selling in 27 countries now. Top seller. Put me on the stage from here to Dubai. You understand? But it started with me understanding who I was, the identity, getting a vision of that, and then declaring it with my mouth. I had nothing. I didn't have resources. I didn't have money. I didn't have anybody showing me the ropes of this, bro. There was nobody saying, like, let me adopt you, son, and show you this game. Nobody did that. I just had to buy in on faith and use the word that I had in me, the little bit of knowledge I had of the word. I spoke the dream, and the world began to respond. So some of you out there, you got the dream on the inside of you. You need to speak it and let God sow power over those words that you are saying. You got to believe the words you're saying, too, because when you hear me that, you can tell I believe what I'm saying. I'm frustrated because the outside world doesn't believe what I'm saying. But I believe what I'm saying. I'm like, no. I'm not conceding to this life right here before me. I'm not conceding to the illusion. I'm not bowing out. I'm not tapping out. We going the distance. You feel me? And I'm going to be the last one standing. That's how I was attacking life with that piece. And, man, it changed my life. As soon as I began to unleash my mouth, the world changed. The world responded. So death and life in the power of the tongue. Those that love us shake the fruits thereof. The words that we have in us can change our circumstances when wrapped with faith. Now, there's some people just big talk, right? Just talk big. But there's no faith, no passion, no intensity, no anointing, no fire, no energy, no action behind those words. That's not what I'm talking about. That right there was really me. That was my identity. That was coming from a different place.
Now, what would you say for someone that doesn't follow the Bible or maybe not be a Christian? Do they still have opportunity for success as well?
Yeah, these are the laws that we, are speaking about here are universal. Anybody can apply them. vision. Is
Universal laws.
just like gravity. Just like gravity is a universal law, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter white, black, Spanish, Chinese, whatever. We all can tap into gravity, and we can all bear fruit. If we dishonor gravity, we'll fall and hit the floor. If we honor it, we can put a rocket on the moon. It don't matter. It don't care who it is. Truth don't discriminate. She blesses all who embrace her. And these laws that God put in place, man, anybody can tap into them. But to reach the maximum capacity and the ability that we each have on the inside of us, we must tap into the Creator. We can go to heights, right? Like when I was doing music, I wasn't attached to God. I went to heights. I probably did more in music than 95% of the people in the music game, right? I mean, I produced for multi-gold and platinum acts, had my own radio show, had songs on Billboard, greatest game seller, all of this stuff, man. Been on stage rocking for 20,000 people, right? But I was outside the will of God, so I kept hitting limitations. But with God, all things are possible. So you can go to heights without Him. You can tap into these principles and bear fruit from them, and they will change your life. But if you want to go to the full potential, we must return to the Creator and what He has designed us to do.
So when you're coming back to New York,
Man, I plan on probably 2 to 3 months, man.
Okay.
2 to 3 months. I got a couple other businesses that have requested me come speak to their employees, and
Yeah.
also some juvenile correctional facilities. They want to bring me in there and let me sow some life over these kids. So I'm really
they need
excited
it,
about
yeah.
that. I'm really excited about
while
that.
you're here, I'd like to do something. I'd like to set something up here in Harlem while you're here.
Definitely.
So
When I
let's-
come back,
let's communicate.
We'll map it out, man. Because my thing is go everywhere and make as much impact as possible. That's my thing. Impact lives daily. God has put His vision in me to impact 1 billion people, and I'm not coming for 999,999,000. I'm coming for 1 billion.
1 billion
1
people.
billion. That's
Well,
it.
here's one of them right here. Tell me your name again.
Benny Love.
Benny Love. Benny Love. How did you first started hearing about this Blessed Unstoppable program?
Well, I was lucky to find him on YouTube, and I was going through something myself. I went through the destruction with the old economy. I was starting all over. I'm a guy from the street who was led the wrong way many years, and my role models were drug dealers and killers, so I did what they did. I went to jail, came home, I hit the street again, and I did well for myself. I made a couple $1 million. I reinvested, and God took it all. And I wound up back on the bottom. I started picking myself back up after maybe 10 years, and I started looking to YouTube and ran into his, on top of like all the other people. And when Motiversity,
Motiversity,
picked you, right, they picked you up, they were playing his stuff.
Right.
So when I saw that, I started looking for him, and I found his YouTube page, and I just stuck with him for a couple of years. And it was God that brought us together. I went to a show to learn how to speak to people, to Eric Thomas. And he and I made eye contact, and we've been friends since. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
And we're
God
here
is good.
today.
God is good.
What is Motiversity?
It's a motivational channel on YouTube that plays.
Motiversity.
They're kind of like a radio station for motivational speakers.
My-
Every different, different artists and stuff, different motivational speakers.
Yeah,
My-
they were playing his. They were
was
playing,
playing his
a
stuff.
lot of his
Yeah.
stuff, and it drove me right to his channel.
Well, my engineer calls me Rick Motivation Young.
Okay.
Rick Motivation Young. I'm like, okay, I like the way. That's a nice little ring to that, man.
Amen.
Rick Motivation Young.
Don't forget to pay me.
Yeah. Oh, listen. Oh, you gonna get listen.
And I'm a champion.
Now here's
Born
the
to succeed.
here is the principles that I've learned and watched and studied. When you get success, you take care of the people around you.
Amen.
That's easy. What's so hard about that? People get success and they forget the people. I don't understand that. So you will be taken care of. You could believe that. You will be taken care
No,
of.
I said pay me.
What?
He
I
said,
don't want to be
"Hey,
taken care of. I said pay me.
Same thing.
Not in my world. Not in my world.
My world.
Not in my world.
In my world.
My world, that means something else.
How much you need?
I don't want to be taken care of. I want the money.
How much you need, man?
I've been the same place he been. I don't. I've been the same. I don't want to be taken care of. Yeah, no, I want that. I don't need that.
Show me the money, right?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Should me and Billy feel safe in here with you two?
Not at all.
guys?
Not at all.
We're reformed,
Billy,
man.
man,
We're
we-
reformed.
Not at all. Not at
Bill,
all.
We got to stick together because I never did no time. I was
God is
blessed.
good."
We actually self-reformed. That's even better. Nobody told us to do well.
There
We're
you
doing
go.
it because we want to.
I didn't hear you, man. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
I can tell you.
I didn't
I
hear
tell you
that.
a story that made me take this serious. when I first started making my transformation over from the street life into doing positivity and stuff, and started reconnecting with God. God put some stuff in my spirit. One day I'm at a red light, and you know, this time I still got my CD store, my urban store, selling shirts, clothing, all that. Right. I was slowly getting out of that lifestyle, but didn't know what to get to. Like, I'm getting out, but what do I get out to? Right? Nobody told me what to do. So I'm like, Lord, you know, I'm open. You just tell me what to do. But I'm still, my money's coming from these stores selling CDs and all this, you know, dope lifestyle stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm sitting at this red light, and this guy comes through the red light, brand new rims, candy paint, all of that, right? Coming through the light, and God moves on my spirit right then and said, they gonna get him, right? And I knew something in my spirit now is like, you need to tell him. I didn't know what I was even supposed to tell him, but God just said, they tell him they go get him, right? So this guy come every single week to my store. He was a dope boy. So he came every single week, and he spent good money with me. He spent a couple $100 every time he came in my store. He'd buy shirts, all the new CDs that came out that week, all of that, right? So he comes in on the weekend, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell him. Now, I'm a baby in this. Like, just getting right with God, just coming out the streets, you know, people thinking I'm crazy, all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, how do I tell this guy that God told me something for him? I'm like, he don't think I'm crazy. And second of all, I make my money from this, right? From this music and all this stuff that I'm selling. They gonna think I fell off if I start talking like this, and people will stop coming to me, right? So I'm like, I'm weighing all the options. Like, Lord, I don't know how you want me to do this. So he comes in, gets the CDs, gets the shirts, gets the hats like he always does, spend, you know, a couple $100 with me. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the opportunity. I'm like, getting the courage. And I dap him and he leaves. And I never tell him. I'm like, I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry. Next week he comes in. I'm like, ooh, another opportunity to tell him. I'm going to do it, Lord. I'm going to do it. So I get to talking to him. This is my new CD. This is the new other CD. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you want the shirt? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Dap him again. And he leaves. And I don't tell him. I'm like, Lord, I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to do. I just didn't have the courage. I apologize. Next week, he comes in again, the third week. And I'm like, okay, you gave me another shot. I'm going to make it happen. Right? So I give him some CDs, give him the R&B CDs, you know, the new hottest jeans, all this stuff here. Give him a shirt, give him a hat. And I dap him again, and he walks right out the store. Now, I don't see him anymore. That's the last time I see him. A couple months later, this guy walks in with his girlfriend, and, you know, he's kind of down or whatever. I could tell, you know, what something's going on. And I'm like, hey, bro, everything good? You know, everything good? And he's like, nah, man, they killed my brother and da-da-da. I'm like, you know, who's your brother? And he mentioned his name, his real name. Now, I didn't know who he was talking about because we just didn't deal in real names. We deal in street names, right? So he said so-and-so. I'm like, I don't think I know him. He's like, nah, you know him. He come every time buying CDs from you. I'm like, don't ring a bell. So he tell his lady, he's like, can go to the car, grab the T-shirt we wore at the funeral with the picture on it, right, of my brother, so Billy can see who it is. So he comes back inside, and guess who's on the front of that T-shirt? Yeah, you guessed it. So I asked him, I'm like, oh, no, because it just, like, hit me that it was real. God had put that in me, right? So I asked him, I say, you know, what happened? What happened to him? The guy says, we don't know, man. Two dudes just went up and said, we got you. Exactly what God had told me to tell that man. That I didn't tell him. So I learned a lesson right then. The stuff that I've been assigned to say, or the places that he sent me, there are real life consequences to what I'm saying. So I don't come in here to play games and all that. Like, there's people on the other side that are hurting right now.
Right.
You know, somebody got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Somebody's daughter or a child is in jail tonight for stabbing somebody, and somebody else just lost their daughter to a stabbing, and somebody else got beat. And, you know, the people on the other side of this thing, real life is happening. Right? So, like, I don't, you know, when I first got in, I thought, oh, motivational speaker, you know, it's gonna be, you know, it's all about success and money and prosperity. That's not the people God sent me.
Okay.
You know, I get the people where guy hit me up and be like, listen, man, my wife just died in the ambulance. Do you have anything for me, man? I'm just coming out of the ambulance. She just died. I'm shocked. Can you give me some words? Mm-hmm. Like, this is the kind of people that hit me. You know, like all day long, man. I'm facing 20 years, man. My whole life gone. Mm-hmm. Or my lady left. My child got cancer. We about to give up. All this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, like, when I get behind this mic, you know, you hear me on some of the videos say, this is not a motivational video, man. This is life. Yeah. Like, I understand that every day is not happy days. This ain't Ron Howard. The struggle is real. Right. But so is the God that help him overcome it, man. That's my message, man.
Doc, do you have any questions for my brother, Billy?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm amazed that he has the champion. And I just will say this: I played that for my son, who's a school teacher and a basketball coach, and I played that for him, and he was beside himself. He thought that I caught him one morning playing it himself. So, those are some powerful words that are on.
I appreciate it.
Man.
God is good, man.
So we had a little difficulty today. We got a little pushback because they did another extra show because of the stabbing here in the park. We don't know what's going on. Those details have to still be discussed. We don't know exactly what happened. We'll find out. They did an extra show that cut into our time. Any message? You've seen me somewhat. You know a little bit about me. What's the message that you have for me, Rick Young?
God's got a big plan for you, man. He moved you in position over and over and over to impact lives. And 2020, man, I challenge you to take that to the next level. To find a way to raise it up, to not get complacent and not just say, okay, this is where I'm at and I'm comfortable here. God has got bigger for you. Dream bigger. Because with God, all things is possible. Now, we have to get in a position. Listen, remember I told you earlier. There's a mindset required to see opportunity. There's a mindset required for promotion. There's a mindset required for the next level. It's not the same mindset you had in the 19, right? Let's take it on up a notch, man. I know, since I first started talking to you, 2 years ago? I think it was 17.
Right 2 years ago?
Right after that video came out, we did an interview. We did 2 interviews on your other station.
That was 2 years ago?
Yeah, 1 year and a half, 2 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, man. I've seen you grow, and I've seen you, consistent about doing your thing, man. So I challenge you, man, to take that thing up a notch, to take your position right now that God has put you in and bring it to Him and say, I'm ready, expand my tent, use me in greater ways. And I know He will do it. You have to buy into that He will do it. Now, here's the thing. I always tell everybody. When you pray in faith and when you really believe that what you're praying for, as soon as you say that prayer, the enemy hears you. Because now you become a threat. Anything you pray for with belief, you've now become a threat to the enemy. Anywhere you can grow, thrive, or multiply, the enemy will attack. So when you pray in faith and really believe in that what you have prayed for, the enemy is going to attack. Now, here's the thing. When you pray, the opposite of what you prayed for will happen almost immediately. Because you're like, I just prayed. What you mean? Like, the opposite of what I prayed for just smacked me right in the face, right? But that's confirmation that the enemy heard me, because the enemy only attacks that which he is threatened by. So when you see the attack, listen to me, because he's going to attack the dream when you dream bigger now. Because he wants to uproot your faith in the thing that you pray for and you believe for. He wants to uproot it while it's small, because he knows if you ever get a hold of it and if it ever takes root, you can never be stopped. You understand that? So he's trying to get you to get back what you have already conquered, what you already have. And I'm asking you to refuse to give back that which God has given you and continue to hold that dream of doing bigger and better, bro. Because you got it in you, man. Yeah. You got it in you, bro.
And you will get the challenges, too, because I thought I was going to have to get into it with the engineer before the show. I thought we had, oh, man. I'm like, oh, this is going to be on. That's what I'm thinking. Like, hey, but,
But the time is perfect, man. God, somebody wasn't home yet.
I know you're a big man, but
look, somebody wasn't home yet that needed to hear this, man. I never get crazy when God sends us somewhere, because I know He's called. I mean, I come thousands of miles to be here, right. So everything's already lined up, bro. We just trust Him with it,
Okay, we got work to do, man.
Amen to that, bro. Bigger and better. 2020.
With all resistance, we got work to do.
Bigger, better execution. 2020. That's how we doing it.
All right. Thank you. Let's finish up with what.
Hey, let me tell him something real quick.
Yeah, you want?
Put in my mind, it's champion who's all.
See, to change the mind, we need to program it every single day, to reprogram it. Right?
Yeah.
Any of you out there that are serious about going to the next level and whatever it is, go to my YouTube channel. These videos are free. They don't cost you nothing. You can reprogram your mind for free. I will give you things that the school did not teach you that will take you to that next level and liberate you, and you can step into the fullness and the greatness that's on the inside of you. Go to youtube.com/Billy, that's Billy Alsbrooks, ALSBROOKS. I'll see you there.
I've always been a champion. I will always be a champion.
Thank you, champion, for showing up, baby. Thank you, man.
On my headstone, they will write champion. Every time they mention my name, they will say champion. My legacy is champion. My obituary will read champion. Every time they mention my name, they will say champion. Because I am a champion. Every day that I get up, I say good morning, champion. When I look in the mirror, I see a champion. When I go to the gym, I work out like a champion. When I